So hello everyone. In this video I will be creating a notebook from a list of sample notebooks that are available, and then just working my way through the notebook itself, executing the various code cells. So on the left hand side you can see that I already have my workspace environment set up, which I created a few minutes ago, and then currently I am positioned over the notebooks there. That's highlighted, as you can see, but the space here is blank. I do have a notebook that I created previously that's listed. What I'm going to do is to click on this control here on the right hand side of where it says notebooks here, and it will give me a few options. So let's do that. And there you can see that it presents me with some templates I can choose from. And again, I can choose the location, whether I want it to be stored in personal or shared. And it's asking me for a name. It's a must. So let me enter something here. So there you can see previously I've been working a little bit with the image matching and getting started. So let's select getting started here, and from the list of notebooks here, let's choose the getting started. If I just scroll down a little bit here, you can see that I have the option to create, and I will click on that button now. There we go. So the notebook is loaded, and as you can see, contains a combination of markdown, images. There are code cells here as well. So this is a great way to document the code as well, with these markdown cells in between. Several ways that we can execute the code. So let's find a code cell here, and we have this one here, which does an install of this emoji. So you can see that on the left hand side here, I have this arrow that I can use to execute that code cell. Equally, with the cursor positioned inside the code cell itself, okay, you may see that blinking there at the moment. On a Mac, I can do Shift Return, and that will execute the code cell. Or another option is to select one of the choices from the menu here, Run. So if you select this, you can see that you have some choices here: Run selected cells, insert below, do not advance, and so on. Okay, there's a range of options there. We can actually run all cells as well if necessary. So in this particular case then, let me just position the cursor here again, and I'll do Shift Enter. That will execute that. There we go. And then we move down here to the next code cell. Let me just position the cursor there. So we are going to load a CSV file that's hosted on a SingleStore Labs GitHub repo, and we'll read that in and create a data frame. And then here we'll take a look at the data frame, see what the contents are. So it looks like perhaps list of businesses there with an address. These seem to be based in San Francisco, with state and postal code as well. Okay, so we can see here that there's nearly 54,000 rows. Okay, and a total of 21 columns. Quite a lot of information stored there. Okay, so the next thing we'll do down here, you can see that we are using this magic command, %SQL here, and we can use some SQL code directly within the code cell here. And in this case, we are actually creating a database first. Okay, so let me just position the cursor in there and do shift return. It will create the database for me. There we go. Now we want to be able to do some data manipulation in Python, and in order to use that, we'll use this import create engine from SQL Alchemy. Let me execute that. And then here you can see that there's a number of environment variables that are being picked up here to create a database connection. So we needn't worry too much about this. It's already filled in for us. We just execute that to get the current connection. Okay, and here the engine, create engine, can use this DB connection string to connect. And then we're ready to take that data frame and store it in a table in our database system. So this one is going to be called SF Restaurant Scores. Presumably that's San Francisco Restaurant Scores. References the database connection that we just created above. And in this case, we are being a bit careful here because we are appending to the table rather than replacing, just for safety, I assume. And let's execute this. Okay, so that's approximately 54,000 rows saved there, as you can see. And let's just scroll down here. So what we'll do now is we'll just read 10 rows from the table. And you can see that we are using this magic command again here. And we're selecting from the database and the table. So we are being quite specific here and just returning 10 rows. So let's execute this. There we go. And we've got a slightly more complex SQL query here, and we've got some notes up above just to tell us what's going on here. So this is going to alter the table to get the date in a date format, not string. And then subsequently, we're going to read the number of restaurant inspections over the time in San Francisco. So this is stage 2 here. There we go. Let's execute this. And then this is the third part here. And in this case, what we are doing is the output of this SQL statement is being stored in a variable here called result1. And if we look just down here, we're actually using that variable result1 as part of this visualization using Plotly. So let's take a look at that. There we go, inspections by month, and that is the number of the count along the y-axis and the months along the x-axis there. And then finally we'll just clean up here, remove that database so that we return clean slate.